Hello everyone, this is Miss Amreen Weiss and I am going to teach you biology of higher grades. Currently I am living in Pakistan. Today the topic of my lecture is bacteria. I hope the topic which I have chosen for you will be helpful for you and you will enjoy a lot after reading this topic. You will understand every aspect of this topic. Here I will try to explain this topic with the help of a PowerPoint presentation so that everything will be clear to you. Okay. Okay, as I just told you earlier that I am Miss Amreen Weiss and I am a biology teacher. Today in our chapter, we are going to cover about what is the occurrence of bacteria, what is the nature of bacteria, how and in what shapes and size they occur, what is the structure and composition, chemical composition of bacterial cell envelope. Definitely there are different organelles, there are different things which actually constitute the bacteria. So we will discuss all about it. Okay, so here you are just looking at the different diagrams, different shapes, different images of bacteria. So it means that they are abundant in environment. They are found everywhere. Basically, they are omnipresent. Omnipresent means what? That they are found in soil, water, even in the depth of the earth, in our atmosphere, in glaciers, in hot geysers, in hot springs, everywhere. You just can see them everywhere where there is organic matter. So they just can start growing. The conditions become favorable for them, and then they just start reproducing and growing there. Okay, so they are found in all living organs. They are also found in us. Isn't it surprising that they are also in us? They are in animals, they are in plants. With them, they form different association. They may be harmful. Okay, so this is different nature of bacteria. If we just say that, if we just see it, that where they just occur in us, so they are occurring in our GIT, gastrointestinal tract. They are in us, in our alimentary canal. Here they form an association with us, that is common cells. Common cells, commensalism is the association, and where they do not give harms to us, but they just take advantage from us. They take benefit. Okay, so they live in our intestine, that is Escherichia coli, a very, very important bacteria that is found in us, in our intestine. E. coli bacteria, it lives in human intestine. While they found in plants as well, there they form an association that is a symbiotic association. For example, Rhizobium bacteria, it lives in the root nodules of leguminous plant. Root nodules of leguminous plant, and they just provide mineral nutrients to the plant body, and in return just take the nutrients, which are important for their growths from them. Okay, so this is how they just live. They also live as a parasite. Okay, so these are different natures of bacteria. Okay, here you are just looking at the diagram of bacteria. So different organelles, different things are found in bacteria. So we'll also just discuss about it. So you have seen that bacteria are found everywhere. On the basis of the habitat, they have also divided themselves into different groups. Okay, so here in bacterial anatomy, you just can see that different organelles, capsule, cell wall, plasma membrane, plasmids are actually found here in the bacteria. So first of all, we must understand that bacteria are of prokaryotic nature. They have a prokaryotic nature. What is a prokaryotic nature? Okay, so we must understand that what is a prokaryotic nature. Basically, a prokaryotic nature is one where no true membrane is present. Organelles are not bounded with a membrane. So a definite nucleus is absent there because there is no nuclear membranes. So these bacteria are basically devoid of any type of organelles which constitute the membrane. Okay, so this is prokaryotic nature of bacteria. Here in this diagram, we are able to see that it has capsule, it has plasma membrane, a very living membrane which is found in bacteria. Plasmid, this is an additional thing which is not found in all the bacteria. Cytoplasm it has, which is essential for all bacteria. Okay, so these are the important characteristics which are found in bacteria. Okay, so a diversity in shapes and size of bacteria, if we just see it, so here you can see that bacteria are of different shapes. Cocci or cocci, you can also say. Staphylococci, bacilli, streptobacillus, diplobacillus. So these are different shapes of bacteria because of the habitat, because of the environment where they just found. So they just adopt themselves according to it. Here we are just going to use our board. First of all, cocci shape or cocci shape. The cocci shape, that is rounded shape. Okay, and actually it is not looking like a round shape, but cocci bacteria are spherical in shape, round in shape. Okay, so they are spherical bacteria. They basically appear in groups, and if they are single, so they are called as monococcus. Monococcus. Okay, monococcus. Okay. This is the spelling of coccus. Okay, when it is found, this is S, this is S. When they are found in a pair, so they are called as diplococcus, yeah, diplococci or diplococci. When they are found in many cell, just like that, so they are called as streptococci. Okay, strepto. Here, strepto. Just don't go on the right hand. It's just a bit difficult to write on the board. Streptococci. Okay, that is a group of bacteria, that is a chain of bacteria, streptococci. Okay, but when they are found in a group of 4, they basically constitute a tetrad. Okay, this is tetrad. Over here, when they appear in a group of 8, here 4 and the 4 on the back side, the 4 on the back side. Here it's a bit difficult to make it, but you just can understand that 4 in the front side and 4 at the back side. So at that condition, they have 8 cells, and this is called as sarcina. Sarcina. So basically, this is the shape which they form in a spherical form condition. Okay, then we have a rod shape. Rod shape, here, rod shape, that is called as baculus or bacilli. You can pronounce it in any way. Okay, if it is single, so this is baculus, bacilli. Okay, just like the cocci bacteria, if they are found in a pair, so these are called as diplobacilli. Okay, diplobacilli. Diplobacilli. But here there is one different unique shape of bacteria where they are just like rod like, but the end of these bacteria are spherical. End of these bacteria are spherical. Okay, just like that. So this shape is called as cocobacilli. Okay, coco means spherical along with rod shape. So both of the terms we can use here. Okay, cocobacilli. Cocobacilli. Okay, and then here, just like cocci bacteria, if there is a chain of many rod-shaped bacteria, so they basically form streptobacilli. This is just like that, a chain, streptobacilli. Okay, so these are different shapes of bacteria on the basis of its spherical and rod-like nature. Apart from that, we have also different shapes, that is spirally. Spirally are spiral shaped bacteria, just like this is like that. They occur single. They seldom form colonies. They are thin and flexible spiral shaped bacteria and they are called as spirochete. Get it? Spirochete. This is O C H E T E. This is spirochete. There is one more shape that in which bacteria are found in comma or curve shape. So this is called as Vibrio cholera, the one which gives cholera disease. Vibrio, just like that. It's a inverted comma shape bacteria. So these are different shapes of bacteria. Again, we are here on our presentation. So these are the shapes which we have discussed right now. Okay, now we are just moving towards the bacterial size. As I told you earlier that these bacteria are found in every kind of environment. So definitely they are also of different shapes. The smallest known bacteria belong to the type that is called as phytoplasmas. Phytoplasmas are the smallest bacteria which infect animals basically. While there are also bacteria which infect plants, phytoplasmas infect plants, while there is also one more bacteria which infect animals, and these are called as mycoplasmas. Okay, so the shape of bacteria vary and approximate, they have a diameter of 100 to 200 nanometer. You just remember that diameter of 100 to 200 nanometer they have. Okay, so the largest bacteria that lives in the gut of a brown surgeon fish, which is found in Red Sea, is Epulopiscium. Epulopiscium bacteria is the largest bacteria, and that is found in the gut of surgeon fish. Okay, isn't it interesting? Okay, so these are different shapes of bacteria. This is the size of the bacteria. They are of different size. Now we are just moving towards the structure and composition of bacterial cell wall. Okay, bacterial cell wall. Bacteria have different things. Non-membrane bounded organelles are found in bacteria. Here you just can see flagella, granules, slime layer, pilus, mesosome, ribosome. So all these organelles are found in bacteria, but they are without any membrane. Okay, so first of all, we are just going to see the bacterial cell envelope, how it forms. Okay, so bacterial cell envelope is basically formed with three additional layers, that is of glycocalyx, slime, and capsule. So, okay, first of all, we are just going to discuss about the glycocalyx. Glycocalyx is the outer covering that covers the outside of the bacterial cell wall. Here you just can see. I'm just using the board. Okay. Here, the glycocalyx, that is the outer covering that covers the outside of bacterial cell wall. Bacterial cell wall is the essential constituent. Okay, the essential constituent of all bacteria, but the nature of this cell wall can also vary. Okay, so the additional covering is glycocalyx. Glycocalyx is the additional covering that gives protection to the bacteria. This glycocalyx exists in two forms. One as capsule, and another is slime. This is capsule and another is slime. Just like capsule, it enhances and gives protection to the bacteria. Okay, capsule is a condensed layer that is relatively tightly associated with the underlying cell wall and gives sticky or gummy nature to the cell. Whereas if we just do discuss about slime, so it is more loosely attached layer that gives slimy or slippery nature to the cell and can be removed from the cell more easily. This is the basic difference between capsule and slime. So the function of both of the capsule and slime is to give adhesion, to promote adhesion of the bacteria to the living and inert surface, and form a subsequent layer adherent glycocalyx enclosed population that is called biofilm. Okay, so the main purpose is to give protection against different you can say its enemies. So here these are the additional covering which are found in bacteria. Here I am stopping. In the next lecture, we will discuss about different organelles, different things. We cannot say the organelles in actual, because they are not true organelles, true things found in the bacteria, because they are devoid of any kind of membrane. So we will discuss about them in the next topic. Okay, here thank you for joining us. Thank you for understanding the topic. Till then, bye bye.